Record it. Record it. There is nothing like somebody that's under major anesthesia. Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Whenever I say that do not believe it. No matter how true they sound.
You know, it's okay, let me let me get my attendance going. Do y'all want paper notes? Today is all of this is short, actually. No, not good night. Y'all all want paper versions? Yes. Sebastian, oh no.
What?
Miss Moore.
What did you do?
What did you do?
What did you do? I don't know.
Did you take your stuff?
It might be a quarantine. I don't. You got COVID, dude. It might be.
I don't know.
Oh my god. I was scared. I'm gonna be happy and sad. No.
I'm sorry, Sebastian.
You were sick. You got COVID. I said, well, can I answer it?
Now we're getting calls.
Hold on.
Today's gonna be
Paper notes. Yeah, sure. I'll bring you a copy.
Sorry, Sebastian.
No, it's I got somebody at my office.
Why did you sound like that?
Who else needs paper? Yes. Okay, I gotta go take a sick out of ISS. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, miss you too.
What?
My mom got mad at me on Friday. I threw my truck into the ditch and it fence post.
Wait, you drove your truck into the ditch?
There was an oversized
Like a
truck coming.
ditch?
Yeah, there was an oversized truck coming, so I wanted to get in the ditch, and then there was another guy behind it swerving. And I stayed in the ditch. Didn't realize how muddy it was. Lost control and threw the whole back into my truck into the fence post.
See how I need to go take this down to
I don't ruin it. My dad.
oh my goodness gracious, I swear.
The stupid guy behind the big truck swerving into
No
the
bad
road.
words. All right, give me just a second, those of you that are online. I gotta go run something down to A Hall for
No,
ISS.
because I don't have to get on that and stealing it. I got the cheesy, so that's it. Okay.
It's one less person to talk to.
It's all right. All I have left is me. What's that?
How much is it?
You can't catch to save your life, Jared.
I can't
Yeah, I know.
I take that back. I take that back. I said, neither can I. I just keep through it and I cut it like that. How long? This is not fun. It's like
Probably 6'4".
I'm not saying you're not.
Yes, I am.
I'm not taller than my dad.
I am 6'4". My dad's 6'2".
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Sit down. And that's not, look at you hanging out. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to run something down to ISS. Okay, so last week we did the let me double check that. We did the formula version, and this week we're doing the naming version. Hold on here. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, we're going to. I heard a boop 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 thing. So for the opener, If I get this on the right slide, for the people that are online, here we go. I do apologize online. I had the wrong opener up. So we have these polyatomic ions, which they obviously sprayed my room, which is why this is all curly. But what's the difference between a binary and a ternary compound? Okay, wait. What does the prefix bi mean? How many? Two. Bi means two. Okay. What does ternary mean?
Three.
Or more. Okay, which means this. And those of you that are online, you can't see the curly piece of paper that I'm holding up, but this polyatomic ion chart, of which you have a quiz on group 3 and 4 on Friday. If there's 3 or more, I'm sorry, I apologize, 2 or more capital letters with the ion, give me shh, then you're going to have what's called a polyatomic ion, a ternary compound. Binary meaning two elements, 2 capital letters, that's it. 3 or more capital letters, you need this thing. And like I said, you've got to memorize group 3 and 4 for Friday, just those 10 specific, is it 10 or is it 9 this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Those 10 specific elements. So what's the difference between sodium chloride and sodium chlorate?
The chloride and chloride.
But obviously chloride and chlorate, but what's the difference between them? They both start with chlor.
Rate and rod.
So what's the difference? You're correct. What's the difference?
The molecular charge.
Chloride comes from, hold on, let me get my cursor down here. Chloride comes from what?
Chloride.
Chlorine. And chlorate comes from where? It's one of these. The 8s and the ites come from the polyatomic ion chart. Most ides, with the exception of hydroxide and cyanide, are elements. So chloride, if it's not hydroxide or cyanide, comes from chlorine. But chlorate, you would have to take a look at the polyatomic ion chart, which is one that's on your quiz on Friday. And chlorate is Cl, which is chlorine, O3 with a -1 charge. Once again, your 8s and your ites are on here. The only thing that I can do to help you out with this is that the 8s have 1 more oxygen than their ites. Your phosphate and your phosphite, that's a 4 and a 3. Your sulfate and your sulfite, that's a 4 and a 3. The other ones are 3 and 2. That's a general trend that happens on here. Now, if there's only one type, like oxalate or chromate, there's no multiple oxygen levels on that. But in general, your 8 has 1 more oxygen than your ite does. Oh, I did not mean to do this. The difference between the chloride and the chlorate, the chloride is just chlorine. The chlorate has oxygens attached to it. Specifically, sodium chlorate, so sodium is still Na+1. The chlorine, the chloride is NaCl. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. Both of them have a -1 charge, but the chlorate is ClO3. So if I put it on the board, which those of you that are online cannot see this, but your sodium, Na+1, sodium chloride is just NaCl. This is typical rock salt. And then we have sodium chlorate, ClO3. It's still a 1-to-1 ratio. which I thought I had halite in here, but I don't. It's in my sedimentary rocks. I'd show you what regular old rock salt looks like, but this is the wrong set of rocks for my earth space. It's weird how they're actually lining up with each other right now. Okay, so note 28, part 1. We're going to split this into thirds. This should not take us long, which means if you're confused, that's when you go, Miss Ritchie, I don't understand. WTF is going on.
What? You said no cussing.
I didn't cuss. I don't understand what's going on. I need to figure out what is going on because this is the kind of stuff that we're going to do the rest of the year. Technically, WTF is not a bad word.
Yes, it is. Listen, what the
I didn't say it though, did I?
fudge?
You're bringing your thingy jiggy back out. Stop it.
Yeah.
Right. So, binary ionics. If only the people that were remote were in person right now. And oh gosh, please don't tell me that I am muted. No, I'm not. Okay, good. I was like, gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. I don't know if Sebastian's coming back. Maybe he's going to be quarantined, isn't he?
Yeah. It's obviously. Their steam is more like this is.
It's so sad. I don't. Chemistry is not a course to do remotely.
Okay, if you get tested and you come back
Yeah.
positive, do I get quarantined? Or am I good?
Well, you're technically more than 6 feet away, but Jimmy's just all kinds of messed up.
Okay, that's it.
So like I wouldn't get quarantined or I'm quarantined?
If I get
No, you
quarantined,
have to
so
be, okay, there's a reason, I didn't double check it this morning, but there's a reason, like this actually needs to be shifted over a little bit more. Because y'all slide in this way, like all the desks move that way. But like each square is a foot. So from your tushy, so 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, no, they usually actually push you on the foot. I didn't have the time to do it this morning. But that's each.
My luck, I'm gonna get
What?
If you
quarantined.
tested positive, do
What?
I get quarantined? Yes or no?
Yes.
No,
No,
because you are, if I do the math, you are 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would do 3 squared plus 4 squared and then square root that.
You're picking my brain.
So it's just the way the math works. But anyways, get back to this. I want to have time to be able to help you if you're confused, and that's not just you know. Okay, so binary means 2 elements. Okay, so like Na and Cl. Okay, ternary is more than 2 elements.
I don't know business.
If y'all, if the first
You don't
element,
have yours all right.
Jenny, if the first element is a group 1 or group 2A element, you don't have to do anything. It's the others where you may need a Roman numeral, and there is the exception of, if I can make this, oh gosh, I thought it was on there, but it's not. The exception of aluminum, cadmium, zinc, and silver. Those are the ones that don't need a Roman numeral. But other than that, you just, if it's a 1 or a 2, it's just potassium, or it's just magnesium, or it's just, I don't know, calcium, beryllium, lithium. It's just the name of the element. You do not change the ending of your first element. It's the second thing. If it's binary, then it changes to I. And once again, if you've got one of these guys, do not change it. If it's an 8 or an 8 on this polyatomic ion chart, for those of you that are remote, that's what I'm holding in my hand, this chart, don't change the name. When we get to acids, that's a different story. We're not there yet. Go forward. If I can make it go forward. There we go. If it's anything beyond a 1 or a 2, A, not aluminum, not cadmium, not zinc, not silver. Okay, those are the 4 exceptions. You've got to have a Roman numeral. And I know y'all aren't used to reading, You're not used to reading Roman numerals, but the capital I means 1, the capital V means 5. If you put the I in front of the V, like IV, it's 1 before 5, which is 4. If you put the I, or Iza, for that matter, after the V, then you're going to add 1 to 5. So VI is 5 plus 1, which is 6. VII is 5 plus 1 plus 1, which is 7. Very, very, very short today. Very short.
Yeah, 32.
How much?
750.
700, who was it? No, I don't think so. Your second element, whatever it is, needs to end in, if it's binary, okay, so 2 elements, needs to end in I. And I've got a few pet peeves. Oxygen is oxide, sulfur is sulfide, phosphorus is phosphide, nitrogen is nitride. You basically keep the first, no, you keep the first syllable, and then the rest of it is on. Very, 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 very short notes all week long this week. It's like this. It's more making sure that you understand how to work the problems out.
We got 6 weeks test next week.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We sure do. Yes, we do.
Do we have 3 more of them in the next semester?
I'm sorry, what now?
No, we don't, wait, why do we have 6 weeks tests and 7 semester tests?
Wait, say that one more time.
Wait, why do we have 6 weeks tests instead of semester tests?
They decided that it would be wiser to do a semester, not a semester, a 6 weeks instead of a semester, like all semester.
People are stupid.
I am.
What?
Well, there's no saving you.
That's
You are stupid.
That's all I know, because with chemistry, I just go along with all the other chemistry teachers. There's 4 of us, but with Earth Space, I'm like, so do I do a semester test, or do I do a 6 weeks test? And they said, well, it's your choice. So since I'm the only one, I get to pick.
Pick semesters.
Make them do semesters. So make them do all the way from the hot big bang up until
Yes, so we don't have to have.
NISO structure.
Yes.
So we don't have to do that much, questions.
It's hard.
It's a totally different subject.
Sure. You have to-
Earth space is a
If you don't
totally
pick
different
I wanna do
subject than
6 weeks
chemistry.
All
All right, so this first one, and like I said, I want to spend more time making sure that I don't understand why I'm not doing this right. Where are you getting that from? That's more what this week is for than anything else. But calcium is a group 2A metal. So it does not need a Roman numeral. And if I put my little laser thingy, this right here, okay, it's a group 2A metal. So it does not need a Roman numeral. The sulfur is a group 6. Yes, 6A element. So you do not change the name of a group 1, or you don't change the name of the metal at all. It's just, does it get a Roman numeral or not? And a group 1 and a group 2, and then outside of that, aluminum, cadmium, zinc, and silver, they don't get one. Otherwise they do. In this case, calcium does not. Sulfur
Sulfide.
becomes, I heard it, becomes what?
Sulfide.
Sulfide.
Can I use the bathroom?
Maybe. Can you?
Do
Do you have the ability to use the bathroom?
May I please go use the bathroom?
Sure.
Thank you.
Aluminum. Aluminum does not need a Roman numeral. It's one of the few that are outside.
Sure, don't fall in.
Do not fall into the toilet, because I'm not going to come rescue you.
I'll try.
Well, at least we know we're
We
in
should
this
make
favorite
Jimmy go
class. Why?
Aluminum does not need a Roman numeral.
Yeah, we're Miss Richie's favorite class.
Fluorine becomes fluor what?
Right.
Fluoride. No Roman numerals with aluminum. Once again, outside of group 1 and 2A, it is zinc, cadmium, silver, and aluminum. Other than that, they need a Roman numeral. Copper. Cu is copper. Cuprum is what it comes from, Latin for copper. It does need a Roman numeral because it is not one of those 4 exceptions. It's outside of group 1 and group 2A. You have to, this is what we left off with last week. You have to work backwards. We know bromine's charge. Bromine is in group 7. It is -1. If you have a 1-to-1 ratio, if the bromine is -1, then the copper has to be +1. It's just a 1-to-1. It has to be equal but opposite. How do we do 1 in Roman numerals? I. 1I. So bromine becomes what? Bromide, and copper needs a Roman numeral 1. Y'all, ionics are way harder than covalents. It's just a lot of stuff that you need to remember. And if I knew a short way to do it, I would tell you, but I don't. And I actually had a child in 8th period on Friday cry in class because it's just so much. She was overwhelmed. Don't cry.
I'm very emotional, so I might start crying.
You might start crying too. I'm not emotional.
Yeah, if you start
at all.
crying, I'm looking over and slap you.
No, let's not go slap each other in chemistry class. All right, so Cu is still copper and oxygen. What is oxygen's charge?
-2.
-2. So what does copper's charge have to be to negate the -2? +2. So it's not going to get an I, it's going to get an II. Oxygen becomes oxide, and copper gets a Roman numeral 2. Like I said, I wish I could make ionics simpler. I can't. This is the harder type. The covalents with just the mono, di, tri, tetra, way easier. Now, if it's binary, and today is binary only, it's going to end in I. If it's ternary, which is one of these polyatomic ions, there's a very good chance it's going to end in I or 8, and you do not change those. I think there's another page on here. Yeah. Silver. Silver, Ag. Does it need a Roman numeral? No, why not?
Because it's an exception.
Because it's an exception. It's always +1. Sulfur is going to become what? Sulfide. 0 Roman numerals in parentheses. Once again, silver, cadmium, zinc, and aluminum. Those are the exceptions. I wish this class wasn't full of them, but unfortunately, chemistry is full of exceptions. Fe. Fe is iron. It's not one of those exceptions. It's going to need a Roman numeral. The way that you figure this out, you know the anion's charge. In this case is oxygen. Oxygen is -2. There's 3 of them. 3 times -2 is -6. The iron side has to be +6, but there's 2 of them. And 6, +6 divided by 2 is +3. So how would you write iron's charge? In parentheses, you would do what to say +3? I. And oxygen changes to oxide. Tin, SN, stannum, tin, which is what that comes from. Tin needs a Roman numeral. We're going to work backwards, just like we did with the oxygen. If phosphorus is negative, let's see, it's in group 5, it's -3. What is 4 times -3? -12. What is then +12 divided by 3? Positive. I know what you meant. +4. So tin has to say that it has a positive charge of 4. And how do we say 4 in Roman? IV. It is tin 4 phosphide. What's the matter, Jared? Seriously, now is the time to ask, because this does not go away. All year long, we are naming compounds. This means 1, of course the black bar is going to show up. IV means 1 before 5, which is 4. VI is 1 after 5, which is 6.
You know it's go over to like
Yep.
So what's 1, 2?
That doesn't exist. That doesn't work.
Like 1, 2, 1.
That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in Roman.
No.
It just doesn't exist in Roman. In fact, Roman didn't understand 0. It was the Phoenicians that gave us 0. 0 is a concept. Like, if I gave you a puppy and then I took it away, you know that you have 0 puppies, but you can't see 0 puppies.
You do that?
I'm just saying in general.
I told my dog to
I'm not saying don't throw it in the wood chipper. I'm just saying, you understand 0. What? Because it's going to imprint in your brain.
Yeah, you messed up.
You're gonna give me pee.
As a dog person, that's
swear.
messed up.
I have dogs and cats. No, never throw a dog in a wood
I'm a
chipper.
dog and my grandma has a cat.
I have 2 cats and 2 dogs.
Oh,
Anyways, back to this. Back to chemistry and away from wood chippers and puppies. Right, so zinc. Does zinc need a Roman numeral?
No.
No, because it's always +2. Nitrogen becomes nitride, and you're done. Very short, very sweet. And we've got, according to my clock, 17 to 18 minutes left, and I'm pretty sure this is the last one that was on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do have this in paper form. How many of you want paper form? Because we go in both ways.
I definitely want to go with it.
Same.
Definitely want the paper version. Well, enjoy the paper version until we all go 100% remote. Now, I put,
Good job.
for those of you that are remote, that's why we can't have nice things, we're writing stuff. I put on here,
I know.
on the right-hand side, the ones with the asterisks need Roman numerals. I don't think I'm missing anything. I forgot something.
And we're making sure we do it. And she's like, you want to know another joke? Oh, the church, she's like, Cinderella. I was like,
We
oh.
all want paper copies in the room.
I wouldn't say it like that.
She said it like that. My mom told me she didn't love me.
Wow, Tiffany.
Must have one.
That's the
I'm
one
going
person
to
you
do
do.
my paper copy of this. Sure, I should have done that.
No, no,
Let me go,
why
let me
are
go
you-
run this thing on.
Why? I don't know why you don't love. Why?
And,
Because of that
okay,
right
so
there.
off, shh,
Oh, I got it.
off on this side, hold on, let me, on the right-hand side, let me stop the recording. Just a second.